next one here, then.
PlebOverlord.
Good
Some
name.
of these names.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Are you gonna get a Grammy with that name?
The times we live in, man. Maybe one day. I don't know.
Maybe.
It really just depends how wide of an audience are willing to accept those names.
Hey, man. I guess there's worse names out there.
I guess.
But okay.
I mean, yeah.
Are you ready? No escapes, PlebOverlord?
Yeah, dude, on the names thing real quick, I mean, I remember when, like, before people knew who Post Malone was, like, that was sort of a weird name, right? Like, what does Post Malone mean? After, what is a Malone? And then
I
what
think
is
it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now. But anyways, let's play it.
Okay, Halloween-inspired dark synth track, influenced by Carpenter Brute. Let's go! Don't know how to get that much energy and 80 cents. We'll be the judge of that. I'm hoping for some Carpenter Brute. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, no escapes. PlebOverlord. 3, 2, 1.
She just goes.
There's those.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Snaps or wubs them.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Blinding Lights?
I don't know.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff. You can either ignore it or you can help me to stop it.
Have you checked the children?
How do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name.
Hang up.
I didn't tell him my name.
They're all part of it. They're all parts, all of them.
I just can't take no pleasure in killing.
Just some things you gotta do. Don't mean you have to like it.
I want that kick to punch through more.
It has from the very beginning. Don't even when they help the nurse too much already.
This is so Carpenter.
Yeah.
It says thank you. I don't know if I agree. But I have to maybe listen to them. It's in that realm for sure.
I see dead
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Dissonance there.
Nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'm your #1 fan.
Akiet just hit it right on the head.
Coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes.
Oops, shit. That was it. No Escapes by PlebOverlord. I think Akiet just hit it right on the head. Could definitely do with some rhythmic variation. I feel like the backbone structuring of this song, or I like the backbone, but I feel like I lose interest a little under halfway through. The idea and vibe is superb, though I like the direction. Exactly, superb. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
If you see me looking at the timestamp, that's where it's like, oh, is this song over yet? And it's because, I get a little bored with it. And that's why I was hesitant to say this is Carpenter Brute, because with Carpenter Brute, I haven't gotten bored of a song, and some of his songs are really fucking long. But yeah, I mean, this is again super solid. And PlebOverlord, let us know if you know Jokerhead or the last guy
Yeah.
that submitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the sounds sounded very, very good. They also had that weird kind of melody going on that gives it a kind of darker vibe than kind of the more mainstream synthwave stuff that I've heard, which is
Yeah.
cool. But again, like Jokerhead, it sounds like a loop that sounds really solid, does something weird, but then loop throughout the whole song. So yeah, Akio, I think he nailed it. That's kind of the same way that I feel. What about you, Josh?
Yeah. I think I mean the first thing that stood out to me honestly was like the drums didn't hit,
The
right?
kick.
Like the drums, yeah, I mean the
The
kick
kick
or the
needs some
snare.
beat, some
It
bass.
it almost sounded to me like I don't know if you guys have ever heard the sounds that you make with like raw forms of synthesis, like
Mm.
AM synthesis or FM or like granular. And they don't quite pack the punch that like a real sample of one of those drums do with like a more complex algorithm. It felt like
Dude,
that was a little bit like the snares were like right, like they just sound kind of airy
airy.
because they don't
Yep.
have a whole lot, harmonically like going on in there. They're not very dense.
There's no poof.
Um, yeah, so, like, I mean, the snare and the kick almost felt like they were missing because of that, and the hi-hat was, like, maybe kind of endearing with, like, the overall aesthetic of, like but it was also super light and kind of airy, almost
The
like it was whipped.
penny.
Like it
Yeah.
was like, there's that's how I describe it. It's like whipped, low density, kind of, like, doesn't hit super hard. Um,
Whipped. Oh, okay. Like Cool Whip.
yeah, no, exactly, or like
Okay.
whipped cream, like that kinda thing.
Sure.
Um, the whipped somebody said that they, like, bought toothpaste and the toothpaste was whipped, which is not a good thing because it means that there's less toothpaste per, like, volume.
Oh,
Like
that sucks.
yeah, so it's just like it just feels like
Sucks for
low
him.
density. There's not a whole lot of punch to those sounds.
Yeah.
And
Synth-wise,
I'd
though, it's
agree.
good.
Yeah. I started losing interest probably around the halfway mark as well, where I
Me
was
too.
just like, "Okay, now we're going on a little bit." So
Yeah.
outside of that, I mean, it's got a little bit of a unique, thing
Mm,
going for it.
yeah.
There were just a couple places where there were some harmonic dissonances, especially towards the end. There was a bass part that was just clashing with the melody, and there's
Mm.
like a weird. I appreciated what you did with the melody thing there, where there's this stepwise line at the top, and then there's a harmonic counterpoint line with it. The third note of that four chord sequence is a little bit
Oh, it's
wonky.
Clinton. Sorry. What's up, Clinton?
Hey, what's up? The third note of that sequence is a little bit wonky, and it sounds okay most of the time. But then when you had something else happening under it harmonically, those three notes were not working together; they were clashing.
Mm.
So I would just be aware of that. But yeah, other than that, do we want to go through our scores?
Sure. He's got a lot of potential. The heavier zones in synth music are just so satisfying. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just want to ask Clinton. Uh, did you tell the other guy before? What was his name to submit to? It's either
Uh,
Clinton or Jokerhead. All these guys in the dark synthwave space.
Philip Tomisa or
Yeah,
Plebe
yeah.
Overlord? Yeah.
But there's Pleb Overlord and then the last guy, like Philip Tomisa or something.
Yeah, Philip Tomisa.
That's what it is. Yeah. Let us know, Clinton. But excuse me. Anyways, um, yeah. So vibes. And also to kind of play off of what Acute said. One of Carpenter Brute's strongest areas, he says, not only variation but transitions into different sections. They're always smooth and impactful. So in your description, Pleb Overlord, you said that inspired off of Carpenter Brute, which we all heard, but I don't know how to get quote that much energy. I don't know if it's energy. Well, Carpenter Brute is pretty like high energy, so maybe there is a little bit of energy missing. But I think the biggest thing that's missing is kind of like a story being told, a different section, and a smooth transition into that section. So if you want to get, I mean, my personal opinion, I think the biggest thing that I'd want you to work on is one to get the drums to hit better because that's super critical in this kind of sound space. But also just from like the next level, like try to do a different section that's like drastically different. Don't do just like a rehashing of the backbone of the song, which is what we've kind of heard before. Do like a completely different section and try to transition in a smooth way, and I think that'll be a lot more compelling. That being said, vibes I think it's pretty decent. It gave me that kind of no escape dark synth wave. I'm in trouble in the '80s type beat, but it's also dystopian. So I think it accomplished it. I think it's green. Content. This is where I'd put arrangement. So I'd put yellow. I'd want just a different section. Don't want to get bored in the song. Production, boost those drums, man. The hi-hat I thought was a decent level, but everything else needs to be brought up and needs to be punchier. Whether you achieve that, I think the first thing you could do is get different samples. That would be a lot easier, and then work on maybe side chaining and stuff. But yeah, production I think is between a green and a yellow because everything else sounded pretty decent. The synth choices were fantastic. Overall, I think it's between a good to go and develop, maybe 60% good to go, because the drums definitely take it down. Maybe more so towards yellow. 40% between green and yellow. But yeah, what about you, Josh?
Yeah, I think vibes. I mean, the main thing is just losing interest a little bit halfway through. Just kind of is the same, and I don't think the sounds were super satisfying. All of them. Some of them were like the synth sounds are nice, but the drums almost sound like they're synths that are trying to act as drums, which is basically what you have when you're using something that's basically basic synthesis. It doesn't work too well for percussive devices. So yeah, the overall vibe, given those factors, I would say is develop for me. In terms of content, that's similar. Like the arrangement needs to be a little bit better, and the usage of sound needs to be a little bit better. So I would also just give it a develop for content. And production, like otherwise isn't too bad. I would give it like a halfway between green and good to go. But once you sort out the arrangement and the sounds, that could help out a little bit, and then you'll have to do some more production work probably. But yeah, track total, I mean, I would give it like pretty squarely a develop, I would say. What do we got in the chat
Sorry,
here?
I'm just laughing at thinking that. Sorry. It's cool.